Unleashing Your Inner Phoenix, the Art of Reinvention for High Achieving Women. Welcome to the Black CEO Podcast, where we dive deep into the minds of game changers and world shakers. Today, we're in for a treat that's going to rock your world, challenge your assumptions, and quite possibly change the trajectory of your life. We're diving into the brilliant insights of Eboni McDonald, a transformational life coach who's not just changing lives, she's igniting a revolution among high achieving women. Now, before we dive in, let me tell you something about Eboni. This woman isn't just a life coach, she's a force of nature. She's taken the struggles of countless women, the silent battles fought behind closed doors, and turned them into a battle cry for authenticity and self realization. Eboni isn't here to give you a pat on the back and send you on your way. No, she's here to set your soul on fire and watch you raise from the ashes of expectations and limitations. Her impact is nothing short of transformative, rippling through communities and changing the very fabric of how we define success and fulfillment. So, buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to embark on a journey that might just turn your world upside down in the best possible way. Let's start with a question that might make you squirm in your seat. When was the last time you felt truly, unequivocally alive? Not just existing, not just checking boxes, but vibrating with the sheer joy of being authentically you. If you're struggling to remember, you're not alone. And that, my friends, is exactly why we need to have this conversation. In our society, we've become masters of the facade. We've perfected the art of the highlight reel, curating our lives for public consumption while our true selves wither in the shadows. We're drowning in a sea of expectations, gasping for air, all while wearing a mask of perfect composure. Sound familiar? I thought so. Now, let me introduce you to Sarah. Sarah was the epitome of success by society's standards. Corner office, check. Six-figure salary, check. Picture perfect family, double check. But behind closed doors, Sarah was crumbling. She came to Eboni feeling like a fraud, running on fumes, completely disconnected from what truly made her happy. Sarah's story isn't unique. It's a narrative playing out in boardrooms, in homes, in the hearts of women everywhere. We've been sold a bill of goods, ladies. We've been told that success looks like a particular title, a specific number in our bank accounts, a certain size in our clothes. But let me ask you this. If you achieve all of that and still feel empty, is it really success? This is where Eboni's magic comes in. She doesn't just offer a few motivational quotes and send you on your way. No, Eboni challenges you to peel back the layers, to question the very foundations of what you think success looks like. And let me tell you, it's not always pretty. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, and it's downright terrifying at times. But here's the kicker. It's in that mess, in that discomfort that the magic happens. It's where you rediscover parts of yourself you'd long forgotten. It's where you remember the dreams you had before society told you what you should want. It's where you reconnect with your passions, start setting boundaries, and begin to prioritize your own well being. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's great for Sarah, but my situation is different. I hear you. But here's the truth bomb Eboni dropped during our chat. Every woman's journey is unique, but the core struggles, they're universal. Whether you're a CEO, a new mom, or somewhere in between, chances are you felt the weight of expectations crushing you at some point. You've probably sacrificed your own dreams on the altar of other people's needs. And I'm willing to bet that there's a voice inside you, maybe just a whisper right now saying, gee, there has to be more than this. That voice, it's not wrong. It's the part of you that Eboni's work aims to amplify. It's the part of you that knows you're capable of so much more than just surviving. It's the part of you that's ready to thrive. But here's the thing, and this is something Eboni emphasized repeatedly. Change isn't just about wanting it, it's about being brave enough to pursue it. It's about having the courage to look at your life, acknowledge what's not working, and take decisive action to shift your trajectory. Let me share another story that perfectly illustrates this point. Meet Maria, a woman who had spent decades building a successful career in finance. Maria had climbed the corporate ladder, shattered glass ceilings, and by all external measures, she was a resounding success. But when she came to Eboni, she was on the verge of a breakdown. Maria had realized that in her relentless pursuit of professional success, she had neglected every other aspect of her life. Her relationships were strained, her health was suffering, and she couldn't remember the last time she did something purely for joy. She was, in her own words, successful but miserable. Working with Eboni, Maria embarked on a journey of rediscovery. It wasn't about throwing away her career or dismissing her achievements. Instead, it was about redefining success on her own terms. It was about finding balance, reconnecting with her passions, and learning to prioritize her well being without guilt. The process wasn't easy. Maria had to confront some hard truths about the choices she'd made and the beliefs she'd internalized. She had to learn to set boundaries, to say no to things that didn't serve her, and to make space for the things that brought her joy. But the results, they were life changing. Today, Maria is still a force in the finance world, but she's also rediscovered her love for painting, deepened her relationships, and found a sense of peace she hadn't experienced in years. She's living proof that you don't have to choose between success and fulfillment. You can have both. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's all well and good, but I don't have time for a major life overhaul. I'm barely keeping my head above water as it is. And to that, I want to share one of the most powerful insights Eboni offered during our conversation. Change doesn't have to be all or nothing. You don't have to quit your job, move to a new country, or completely reinvent yourself overnight. Real lasting change often starts with small steps. It's about making conscious choices each day that align with your true self and your deepest values. Eboni suggests starting with a simple question. What's one small thing I can do today that's just for me? Maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk during your lunch break. Perhaps it's calling an old friend you've been meaning to catch up with. Or it could be as simple as saying no to an optional commitment that you know will drain your energy. These small actions might seem insignificant in the moment, but they're powerful. They're declarations to yourself and the world that you matter, that your needs are valid, and that you're worthy of care and attention. And over time, these small actions compound, creating a ripple effect that can transform your entire life. But here's the thing, and this is crucial. You have to start. You have to take that first step, no matter how small it might seem. Because as Eboni so eloquently put it, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But you'll never reach your destination if you never start walking. Now, let's talk about something that came up repeatedly in my conversation with Eboni. And it's a theme I've seen echoed in countless women's stories. It's the idea of guilt. Guilt for wanting more, guilt for prioritizing ourselves, guilt for not being able to do it all. Ladies, it's time we had a frank conversation about this guilt. It's time we recognized it for what it is, a tool of oppression, a chain that keeps us tethered to outdated expectations and limiting beliefs. Eboni was crystal clear on this point. Guilt is not serving you. It's not making you a better person, a better professional, or a better anything. It's just holding you back. Eboni shared a powerful exercise she often does with her clients. She asked them to write down all the shoulds that govern their lives. I should work longer hours. I should be able to do it all without help. I should put everyone else's needs before my own. And then, in a moment of beautiful rebellion, she has them cross out every single should and replace it with I choose to or I don't choose to. This simple shift in language is revolutionary. It moves you from a place of obligation to a place of empowerment. It reminds you that you have agency in your own life. You're not a passive participant. You're the author of your own story. And here's the beautiful truth that Eboni wants every woman to internalize. When you choose yourself, when you prioritize your well-being and pursue your passion, you're not just serving yourself, you're serving everyone around you, because a fulfilled, energized, passionate you has so much more to give to the world than a burned out, resentful, going through the motions you. Think about it. When you're on an airplane, what do they tell you about oxygen mask? Put your own on first before helping others. It's not selfish, it's necessary. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't light the way for others if your own flame has gone out. Now, let's address something that might be niggling at the back of your mind. This all sounds great, you might be thinking, but what about the practicalities? What about the bills, the responsibilities, the expectations of others? These are valid concerns, and Eboni doesn't shy away from them. In fact, she tackles them head on. Eboni shared a story about a client, let's call her Lisa, who was struggling with exactly these concerns. Lisa was a single mother of two, working a demanding job to provide for her family. The idea of prioritizing herself seemed not just selfish, but impossible. How could she possibly make time for herself when there were so many other demands on her time and energy? This is where Ebony's approach really shines. She worked with Lisa to reframe her thinking instead of seeing self care as something extra, something to be squeezed in if there was time left over, which there never was. They started to view it as a fundamental part of Lisa's ability to show up for her other responsibilities. They started small. Lisa began setting aside just 15 minutes each day for herself. Sometimes she used this time to read, sometimes to meditate, sometimes just to sit in silence and breathe. At first, it felt strange, even uncomfortable. But as the days went by, Lisa noticed something. She was more patient with her kids. She was more focused at work. She felt less resentful and more grateful. As Lisa saw the benefits of this small change, she became more confident in making other changes. She started saying no to non essential commitments. She asked for help when she needed it, both at work and at home. She even started pursuing a long dormant passion for photography, taking online classes in her spare time. The result? Lisa didn't just become happier, she became a better mother, a more effective employee, and a more fulfilled human being. By prioritizing herself, she enhanced every other aspect of her life. This story illustrates a crucial point that Ebony emphasizes. Self care isn't selfish. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the foundation upon which you build a life of purpose, impact, and joy. Now, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier, the idea of redefining success. This is a cornerstone of Ebony's work, and it's something that has the power to radically transform your life. For too long, we've allowed others to define what success looks like for us. We've chased titles, salaries, and material possessions, often at the expense of our health, our relationships, and our joy. But what if we flip the script? What if we dare to define success on our own terms? Ebony challenges her clients to do exactly that. She asks them to imagine their ideal life, not in terms of what they have, but in terms of how they feel. Do you feel energized, fulfilled, at peace? Are you making a difference in the ways that matter most to you? Are you present for the moments and the people that truly light you up? This exercise often leads to some startling revelations. Many women realize that their definition of success looks very different from the one they've been pursuing. They discover that what they really want isn't necessarily a bigger house or a more prestigious title, but more time with their loved ones, more opportunities to pursue their passions, or more ways to make a meaningful impact in their communities. And here's the really exciting part. When you start pursuing success on your own terms, amazing things happen. You become more authentic, more aligned with your true self. You start attracting opportunities that resonate with your values and your passions. You find yourself surrounded by people who support and uplift you. But, and this is a big but, this kind of change requires courage. It requires the willingness to go against the grain, to disappoint some people, to step into the unknown. It requires you to trust yourself, to believe in your own worth and your own vision. This is where Eboni's work becomes truly transformative. She doesn't just help women identify what they really want. She empowers them to go after it. She provides the tools, the support, and the mindset shifts necessary to make bold moves and create lasting change. Now, as we start to wrap up this journey through Ebony's wisdom, I want to leave you with the challenge. It's the same challenge Ebony poses to all her clients, and it's deceptively simple. For the next week, I want you to do one thing each day that's solely for your own joy, growth, or well-being. Not for your career, not for your family, not for your image, just for you. It might feel uncomfortable at first. You might hear that voice of guilt piping up, but I want you to do it anyway. Because here's what Ebony has seen time and time again. When women start prioritizing themselves, magic happens. They become more creative, more resilient, more loving, and more powerful than they ever thought possible. You see, Ebony's work isn't just about helping women find balance or achieve success. It's about sparking a revolution of women who know their worth, who honor their desires, and who aren't afraid to take up space in the world. It's about creating a world where women don't just survive, but truly thrive. So I ask you, are you ready? Are you ready to break free from the constraints that have been holding you back? Are you ready to reclaim your power and step boldly into the next chapter of your life? Because here's the truth. The world needs you, not the watered down, people-pleasing version of you, not the burnout going through the motions you. The world needs the real you, passionate, powerful, and fully alive. Imagine a world where every woman felt empowered to pursue her dreams, to use her voice, to make her unique mark. Imagine the innovations, the solutions, the beauty that would emerge. That's the world Ebony is working to create. And it's a world we can all contribute to building. So, as we come to the end of this talk, I want to leave you with one final thought from my conversation with Eboni McDonald. She said, your life is not a dress rehearsal. This is the main event. Stop waiting for permission to live the life you truly want. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now, and you are the one you've been waiting for. These words aren't just inspirational fluff. They're a call to action. They're a challenge to each and every one of you listening right now. What would your life look like if you truly believe them? What would you do differently? What risks would you take? What dreams would you pursue? I want you to take a moment right now. Close your eyes if you can. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what's one step I can take today towards living a more authentic, fulfilling life? It doesn't have to be big. Remember, change starts with small steps, but it has to start somewhere. Maybe it's having that conversation you've been putting off. Maybe it's signing up for that class you've always wanted to take. Maybe it's simply setting aside time each day to check in with yourself and your needs. Whatever it is, I want you to commit to it right now. Say it out loud if you can. Write it down. Share it with a friend. Make it real. Because here's the thing. Your journey to reclaiming your power and living a life aligned with your passion starts now. Not tomorrow. Not when the kids are older. Not when work settles down. Now. You have the power to rewrite your story. You have the ability to redefine success on your own terms. You have the strength to break free from the expectations and limitations that have been holding you back. So what are you waiting for? The world is waiting for the real you, the authentic, passionate, powerful you. It's time to let her shine. Remember, in the words of Eboni McDonald, it's time to live fully on your terms. Let's start today. Thank you for joining us on this transformative journey. Now go out there and set the world on fire. Your way.